I mean, Rob Ryder speaking out of Cornwall. Um, so all the madness that's going on at the moment with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So to get a little bit of perspective, because this video is going to be about using due diligence regarding events in the world and so-called conspiracy theories. So you'll see people now zoning in, and I've seen this consistently over the years with an event. First of all, you get the people who are in the political paradigm. So it'll be some leftist maniac, and that maintains the political paradigm. Shills like Alex Jones is pushing that narrative. So they need to push that narrative to maintain the polarization and the division of people in America and this country as well. When all along, if anybody, I mean, what I published in my book, Debt Slavery, The Economics of a Banking Mafia, Edition 2, one chapter was The World is Not as It Seems. These people, whoever they are, control everything. All religions, all political parties, all cults, all sciences, the financial system, they control everything. So to think, oh, it's somebody out of the left is fighting the right because the right are all about freedom and Trump's about utter nonsense. They've got the whole lot sewn up. They control all narrative. They control everything. And then you get other people coming on who are kind of awake to that narrative, but then saying, oh, it's staged, it didn't really happen. I've seen other bits. I don't look into it, but I've seen other bits where his ring moved. I haven't seen that video, but oh, his ring moved, therefore whatever. Whatever's information's going out there, it's because it's supposed to go out there. It's the same with at the lockdown, when I think I didn't take much notice, but allegedly some doctor who blew the whistle that it was out of a lab, it come out of a lab, and he died, and he was took out what to perpetuate the theory of a lab leak, which was utter nonsense anyway. So they not only control what's happening, they control the narrative, and they control the conspiracy theories that come out of it. And people think, oh, their conspiracy theory is correct, because no, if it's come out, it's because it's supposed to have come out. And this is where due diligence come in. And I've seen it over years and years and years, and I've seen patterns of what they do. So, for example, I think there was a stabbing. I mean, I'm very forgetful on dates and things. It's all irrelevant to me. There was a stabbing in London, and then on London Bridge, I think it was, and there was a video, and I seen the video of a very weird arm. Some guy who'd come from the scene, he had a very looked like a false arm. Then people say, oh yeah, it was staged, it happened, it didn't happen. Well, I'm pretty sure somebody died. I think they did happen. I see, remember the Boston bombing, marathon bombing, and there was clearly some staged people in there. There was some staging going on, and people focusing on that. Oh, it never happened, it wasn't real. Well, it did happen. And you see it time and time again. I've never looked into the Manchester bombings. I know people have, but there's definite weird things going on there, like a huge bomb goes off and yet a souvenir store was not affected at all. And then people go to an extreme, oh, it's all fake, it was all fake. What is real, what is not, I don't know. I'm not claiming to know. But what I've seen is, and it makes sense to me, because you have to understand these people who push this stuff out are very, very clever. So say, for example, the Boston bombing happened, and you put a stage actor in there to make a stage section of it. You know, I think it was an amputee was put there as always had his leg blew off, and there was this woman who seemed to be at other different events. Then people go, oh yeah, it was all staged, none of it. A truck that got set loose years ago in Marseille, can't remember when, it was quite a few years ago, killed many, many people. And people were putting footage on, oh, this is fake blood, and look at the way it's driving, and this and that. and therefore they zoom in on that. All of a sudden, none of it's real, it's fake, it was staged. People died. And this just muddies the waters of any real investigation. Now, my opinion is they take a real event that they've planned and they'll put a stage bit within the event. And then conspiracy theorists go in, dive in on that. Oh, that's the real truth, which they're happening now with Charlie Kirk. And nobody gets anywhere. And then the people who believe in that are considered to be crazy. And then any serious researcher then gets labeled as some crazy conspiracy theory. Oh, you think nothing happens. And I've said this with the flat earth as soon as it came out. I don't claim to know the shape of the earth. I think, in my opinion, understanding the forces of nature, it would be a globe, although I believe it's probably a lot bigger than we're being told. But I'm not going to stand by that. I'd have to do a serious amount of thinking, which I don't like doing, to look into geometry and all sorts of things to look into it. I believe it's a globe, whatever. But as soon as it come out, it was, for me, another divide and conquer tactic. So anyone doing serious research, oh, you're just a flat earther, it kind of ends the conversation, bundles us all into one plate of rubbish. So you get ridiculed just for doing serious, oh, you're another flat earther. Again, it's not the issue of the shape of the earth, because the flat earth divide become horrible. You call them globetards, flat earth idiots, and that was another divide within the already divided community. And these people who are running the show, like I say, in my opinion, you have actual events that happen and they deliberately put in misinformation within the event so that the people who really think what's going on, oh yeah, focus in on that. Whether it's Charlie Kirk's ring or whatever it was, Watch Ring, I think it was, moving, whether it was the wobbly hand on London Bridge, the amputee being used in the Boston Bonnet. They focus it, oh yeah, look, it was all staged. And it just muddies the waters of any serious research. So when anything happens, I just sit back, let it happen. And one thing I noticed, and I checked this on Amazon, within one day of Charlie Kirk's death, there was a book being advertised on Amazon about his death. Now, I've published a few books on Amazon, and normally it takes 72 hours for it to go into the system, get processed, and go up published. That's my experience. That seems to be 72 hours, seems to be how it works. Well, maybe these people are just playing with us. Maybe they knew the event was come out, they put a book up straight away to tell us, yeah, it was planned. It was planned. And they're just playing with us. So I think these people are playing with it a lot, but a lot more than other people think. Because as long as they can pin you into some crazy conspiracy theory, as long as they can get you to take a side, whether it's the political left or right in America at the moment, it doesn't matter. As long as you're not pursuing real truth, you're not really a threat. And that's how I think these conspiracy theories work. So I just don't really go down that line. There's lots of other conspiracies. I mean, I've been to Venezuela on the flat top mountains. I went to Mount Roraima. Now, all right, I wasn't into that information then. This was 6 years ago. I'm not a geologist, but I would have looked at that mountain. I wouldn't have thought at any point that was a tree trunk from a tree that goes a mile in the sky, and there would have been a forest of mile in the sky trees. I'm not sure how that would have been possible. But people have been taking photos of these, this going back years ago, and say, oh yeah, there used to be trees a mile in the sky, and then it was in the Avatar film. So, oh, it has to be true. This is not, whether it is true or not is irrelevant. There's no evidence that it's true. You've just jumped on something, and people constantly jumping on things that are crazy. Do I seriously believe there was trees a mile high in the sky or whatever it was, and that the base of Roraima was a tree trunk? Because they'd be a lot bigger than a mile, I tell you, because these places, these flat top mountains are huge. So I don't believe that. I'm not a geologist. But I don't believe that looking at the size, because the size of the tree would be beyond what you can even comprehend. And if that tree come to its end of life and fell, you would have a tsunami right around the world. So I think there's not a lot of due diligence, and people really jump on things really quickly. And then that then ties everyone with the same brush who is trying to do the decent, proper research. The moment in the alternative media, I've only seen Gareth Icke and UK Column do a sensible take on the Charlie Kirk assassination. The rest of the media is pushing it on into the political far right, far left realm, which, as we know, if you should know, they control both sides of that, because the real issue goes beyond politics. And again, as I've said in other videos, the biggest attack on us is the belief that we live in the political map of the world and that these laws and rules are real. That's the real attack on the mind. We live in the natural world, the natural geographic world. And even though we would naturally create societies, we've been convinced we live in the political world. Within the political world, all these illusionary laws. You'll find police states, which we do live in a police state now. I've been saying this for many, many years. We live in a police state now. But it's all an illusion. But as long as you can perpetuate the illusion, you'll always stay in control. So these people aren't bothered if you blame left, right, it was Mossad, it was this, it was that. They're not bothered as long as you blame somebody within that mind control paradigm. And I just say due diligence. Think about these things when they happen. Remember, if something's been leaked out there, yeah. So go back to the lockdown. The doctor died who said it would come from a lab. Well, I already knew that there was no thing. So I knew that was a scam from the start. And then you can see the manipulation. And the people who were looking, oh yeah, look, it really came out because they killed the doctor and he was trying to speak out. Yeah, but it's got out, and they wanted that to come out. They wanted you to think that. The level of manipulation is even beyond what the vast majority even think. It's insane. So if you're being held in a political paradigm, you're still part of the manipulation. You've got to see beyond it. In a religious paradigm, you've got to see beyond it. It's all one religion anyway. If you think that there's some information that's, oh yeah, look, they found it on video. Yeah, well, they've used a lot of due diligence to see if this stuff is real, or is this what they want you to see? And I think you've got to be very careful, very, very careful. And there's people out there who are in the limelight whose job is to keep I mean, Alex Jones has been right. Oh, where is he? Where is he there for years? Many people have said he's a Mossad agent for many years. But you give people a chance, and he's absolutely pushing now the political left and right divide. He's made it clear who he is. He's a shill. That's what they want to push. So just be careful who you're listening to now and what narrative that they're pushing. So far, like I say, I like what Gareth Icke says. I like what the UK Column are saying. Just don't commit, because if you dig yourself in a hole, you're going to have eat a bit of humble pie to get out of that hole. So be very careful around so-called conspiracy theories. I don't touch them. I tend to stay away from them. I tend to do logical thinking. Right, is this true? But I also know the level of manipulation is far, far more than most people who are new to this can even imagine. What's happening in London today, Tommy Robinson, his job is to create more division in this country. That's his job. It's not that he hasn't got a point. It's what is he doing with that point? If you want to sell a worm pie, I always say you've got to put a bit of strawberries and cream on top of it. Andrew Tate is another, the strawberries and cream is all the empowerment of man, taking responsibility, stop complaining, but underneath the worm pie, you know, is his attitude towards women. You know, he's converted to Islam for political reasons, I believe, for his own political gain. And he's there, I would say, how he got into this, I don't know, but I would say he's knowingly, he knows what he's doing now. He's at a level where he probably knows what he's doing. And they're all the same. So but people will be listening to these people, millions of people will be listening to these people to keep the political paradigm alive. It's all a game, all an illusion, all a distraction from the fact that we're living in a mind control construct of religion, culture, politics, belief systems. Until that's broken, we're never going to get any peace. Never. People got to keep breaking all these paradigms in themselves. I don't see any sign of it at all. In some parts, people are becoming more radicalized in the religious thinking, in the cultural thinking, in the belief systems, in the political thinking. You've got to break free from all of these things. I'm hoping to do a video soon called The Universe and I, My Role in the Unfolding Energies of Life, which is a new book that I wrote with Patrick. She's kind of loosely based on the seminar that he did and the conversations that come out of it. And we go into the nature of reality, of awareness, of conscious awareness, the nature of the conscious and unconscious mind and energy fields and how they interact, and the true nature of what I believe evolution is, the evolution of consciousness via experience. So you've got, but to get to that level of thinking, and this is not me sounding arrogant, because in the book I say, listen, I was a complete and utter moron once. And it's not that I'm not a moron now. I'm just trying not to be a moron. That's the evolutionary point where we're at, is not that we're evolved and wow, look at us. No. Anyone who said that to me, I said, nah, listen, if I'm a moron, you're a moron, we're all morons. Yeah. And it's that acceptance of being a moron that allows you to grow as a person. There's too many spiritual gurus out there, virtuous spiritual gurus who are pointing out the splint in his other people's eyes, but they've got big rafters in their own. We need to work at our own rafters. Let other people figure out the rest out. So this book is about breaking the boundaries of religion, cultural and political constructs, and then learning to live it, not be judging, and learning to live at peace within ourselves. And what we're finding now, we get this radicalized left, but the right is tiny, you know, it's very, if it's a word, Christianized, which isn't a good sign, because you're becoming more extreme, then you're putting people in a box. What will that lead to? I don't know. You got on the left, they're literally promoting homosexuality, and on the right, they'll be trying to criminalize it. You know, where's this going to end? I don't know. So I think you've got to be very careful with the Christian right. There is a lot of good things you could say about Christian family values, but when it gets, like anything else, when it starts to get extreme, I've heard things, you know, listen, each to their own. Homosexuality, not my cup of tea, thank you very much, but if you want to do it, no interest in me, just to impose it on me. Yeah, but there'll be a sect, an element of the Christian right who would want to criminalize it, and that's going completely backward. If you believe, you either believe in freedom or you don't. Simple as that. And if you want to criminalize certain behavior, then you're becoming God, which none of us are God. You know, the issue is, and I mean, you have to agree with Mark, whether you like Mark Passio or not, his delivery, his persona, it doesn't matter. Is what he's saying is true? Yeah. You know, freedom expands with the level of morality. What is morality? Well, you don't do, I always add the word deliberate harm to another person, because harm now can just be having an opinion. So you don't commit a deliberate harm to another person. That's it, morality. So what you do in the sphere of your own little behavior, as long as it's consensual, anything goes. It's consensual, which means adults. Yeah, what you want to do, you know, if two sadomasochists want to beat the crap out of each other, let them do it, as long as they're not imposing that on anybody else. Who am I to judge? Nothing to do with me. When you start imposing, and the radical left and right want to impose their will on other people. Why? Because it's a system that wants to impose himself on the people, and they control every element of the system, political, cultural, religious, whatever. They control the lot. And until we start breaking these paradigms, unfortunately, like I say, it's a collective experience, as Mark Passio says, and he has a phrase, changing the world one mind at a time. That's all you can really do, but you have to start with your own mind. So that's the most important thing. And then give information to people who are willing to go down the same path. And you've got to not be judgmental of other people's behavior, only when they want to impose it on you. So you've got to use a lot of due diligence, get out of the political paradigm, realize that these people who are manipulating the conspiracy theory within the event as well, all manipulated. There's that old saying that a lot of people do, well, who gains? What comes out of it? Well, we'll see in the next few weeks what comes out of this event, whether it be the attack on a certain people in society, whether it be new gun laws, some kind of political situation in the world will change because of that. Who knows? We'll see. But that's when you'll get an idea. That's why it happened. I don't think lone deranged gunmen have an accuracy to get you in an artery like that. I think that's highly professional person that did that, whoever did it. No idea who did it, whoever did it. But I think people should sit back, have a cup of tea, and don't allow themselves to get zoomed into created conspiracy theories, and just use due diligence. That's it.